What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I've just rolled out of bed, so bear with me, but the huge story of the day isn't actually, oh my gosh, YouTuber Shockface $2,000 falling out of my chair, Dark Magician. Imagine if I was like that for real. But with the sharks circling the blood in the water, Dark Magician spiked to $1,000 yesterday, super low quantities. This was easy to make disappear, and a lot of people who have paid a ton of money for Dark Magician aren't suddenly going to relist. They're gonna wait and watch to see what happens. Maybe you'll see competition of $1,750 here. I've got in near mint. I really want to cash in. $1,000 sure sounds nice, but you're going to see the competition, I think, rather slow versus this flash pan in the moment, but this may help a little bit, but I don't necessarily think so, and I'll dive into that. Unlimited goes from the past, confirmed over on Gameology.com. This is an Australian website, and they have pre-orders up. They seem to be juicing a little bit on this. I get the Ghost from the Past is hype, and if you're able to pre-order this, you probably shouldn't be, but I see that they do have it confirmed, specifically an unlimited version of this product, and that raises more questions than answers in my opinion. First off, will this actually be a very big print run? Whenever we got unlimited Toon Chaos, the boxes, there weren't the most of them. Some people were only getting 10 cases. Even the big boys trying to order a bunch, they did not get a lot. And for people hoping for price crashes, the vendors to get what they deserve, the market's gonna, well, on the chase rares, probably not. Ghost rares are notorious for having a huge gap on first edition versus unlimited, but even here on Toon Chaos, you can see that the first edition is triple in price versus the unlimited collector rares, and I can imagine we're going to see a very similar wave on ghost rares versus that. But what is exciting and good news for everybody on the vendors are going to win, the players are going to win, etc. When people do bust this open, the singles should finally be there in terms of quantities. There's only two in the first edition run, winning versus the original MSRP of the set, and none of the cards are winning versus the juiced aftermarket prices. But with coolant to the set, which is hopefully going to happen, we should start to see listings like maybe Fogblade. The highest listing I think is 17 quantities right here. Penny stunts are kind of impossible right now because there's not the vendors ripping this open in mass and putting them up there to where they're selling 100 quantities of X card like the usual March reprint set, and people have been stuck paying dollars for cards that realistically should be quarters, and I think that the unlimited run of this will hopefully fix that. But the biggest question is, will this be for all TCG regions? That's really weird of you to say, John. Like, what do you mean all TCG regions? It's a TCG rewave. For a huge set like the 2019 Gold Sark Megatons, this was re-released only in the EU zones, and it's still very expensive today, and I don't think TCG Player even bothers making you say if it's unlimited or first edition cases. Whenever that happened, I actually shouted it out that on eBay, you can get cheap cases right now. I know multiple people that did go in on that, and with the Gold Sark 10s, they turned out to be very successful thanks to their promos and all that other stuff. We're getting sidetracked. This was only in the EU regions for its rewaves. One of the top sets and major things like a March reprint set is, and it was only those zones. Australia does fall under the EU umbrella, so this confirmation doesn't necessarily mean that Ghost from the Past will be in the USA, Central America, South America zones. Another weird one that recently happened is I talked to YBM and they got unlimited Shadol Showdown from either Central or South America, and that's why they haven't listed on TCG Player. That's also kind of a funny one. But with this, very specific and weird things could be happening to where this isn't for everybody. This is our first confirmation, and whenever these releases drop, it's not Konami knocking on the door, busting it open, going, yeah, we're gonna announce this, confirm it for everybody. Often whenever we get an unlimited run, we're confirming it by GameStop, like the Hero Strike structure, like, or confirming it through major vendors, putting up descriptions specifically like this. There's not some mass announcement. There's not some crazy kind of burst through the door moment. No, it's literally little rumblings and whispers like this that have to be found and dug up and shown, and that kind of sucks, doesn't it? So we really don't know when where or how the level of distribution is going to be, where it's going to go, but this is our first look on it. Now, let's actually dig into this Ghost Rare conversation. That is an insane price, but it actually really adds up to how things should stack up math-wise, unfortunately, and I'm going to explain why. While I think there should be more value spread between the Ghost Rares, Dark Magician is the leader. The DM era, the Duel Monsters era, is the top nostalgia pandering of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dark Magician takes the brunt of that, and if you're in for singles anywhere else in the set, you should be super happy. But if you are a sucker for that nostalgia, you are paying extra, and here's why. Let's say it's still $1,000, you're getting the hookup on a case from Ghosts from the Past, and you get 5 cases. That is $5,000 freaking dollars. Now, there's short prints within the set where you're only going to pull like 4 Remus per case, that sort of thing happening. The singles aren't a lot of coolant versus the top end Ghost Rares. So let's add all the prices of the Ghost Rares and assume you get lucky and do get 1 per case. Really lucky would be insane clumping and you're opening 5 cases and getting like 8 Ghost Rares and somebody else is getting screwed while they get 0 Ghost Rares in multiple cases. But let's say you average out to 1 Ghost Rare per case. You don't get unlucky or lucky. So let's add them up. Let's assume you pull 1 of each and you don't go anywhere weird. That's 1 Dark Magician. That's 1 Blue Eyes Alternative Ghost. That's 1 Black Luster Soldier, which will get reprinted hopefully someday. That's 1 Crystal Wing. Let's call it 315. And 1 Firewall Dragon around $208. We're being generous. Well, that's still not the total value of all the cases, yet this is what people are case diving for. You add up all the other singles, are you winning, son? Probably not, versus just shipping out that Ghost from the Past at $1,000 per case and then not dealing with any factory damage to your Ghost Rares like shrapnel on the back of Dark Magician, weird ink blotting on Blue Eyes, selling the card, dealing with complaints. No, you just sell the sealed product and you let it go out the door. You pay the extra shipping versus singles, but realistically, if you're hooking up singles, you're going to have package after package after package, so long term you actually save on the shipping as well, and it's just easier. It's an easier transaction than having to bother with selling individual cards. That's why people are selling Ghosts from the Past sealed. That's why you're not seeing hundreds of copies of penny stocks that should be quarters, but instead they're dollars because of this problem, and this should definitely alleviate that problem lower within the set. We should hopefully see more of it busted open than people just sitting on this sealed, but I do think, depending on distribution, where it goes and how it ends up, that if it's anything like Toon Chaos and it's not the most distribution, you can't get the most, then their price makes a lot more sense that they couldn't just order infinite, and B, then it could end up with the even unlimited product doing somewhat well for itself sealed, even though the pull rates inside don't mash up versus the price like the first edition ends up doing. So now that Dark Magician is spiked, if you actually go to the old pricing of the Ghost Rares for a quick breakdown, you can see it just doesn't match up versus the sealed. If you put the Dark Magician at $750 and you add up everything else from before, you go to $380, $375. You have the we'll still call it, I think I put $315, I'm not sure, and then $208. Up. Ah, dang it, we're live. I told you, bear with me. I'm not trying to pad the time, I swear. So we add the 50. $750, we have $385. You have $375. You have, we'll call it $315. And then you have $205. Well, if we add all this up, that's only $2,000 versus 5 case pulls of Ghost Rares. And then you add up all the other singles, they're just straight losing versus sealed. It is not worth it to open on any scale imaginable versus how those Ghost Rares panned out. And that's probably why Dark Magician spiked the way it did. I would have hoped for more value to be spread throughout, but Dark Magician is the main pull, and you can see here now 5 cases would be $5,000. This is your estimated pulled Ghost Rare if you got 1 of each and didn't get lucky or unlucky on your ghost pulls. That's not a very good value spread for busting the sealed, and again, that's why people were slinging out the sealed. This makes it a little more appealing to maybe chase and pull open for those sitting on the sealed, but still, you're dealing with factory issues on the cards and that sort of thing, and it's just easier to let go sealed, or sit on it sealed and watch it go up further. Because first edition of Toon Chaos, you can also see, had 0 impact from its unlimited. It didn't slow its roll. It didn't hurt it. I called Toon Chaos the next Ancient Millennium when it did get announced and said that you should be in for it sealed, and then it got shorted. Not everybody got what they wanted. Allocation happened. I digress. Unlimited was to balance this. Obviously, there was a huge demand from Ghosts from the Past, and that's why the Unlimited is getting run. Thanks for watching today's video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversation. Sorry for the fumbling of the calculator. 8 minutes is where you need to be for ad rev, so I promise I'm not doing that to stretch out the video. I'm literally just stumbling and waking up here. But what do you guys think of Unlimited Ghosts from the Past and $2,000 Dark Magician? Does it just make that much sense? And how do you see the other Ghost Rares going over time, especially First Ed versus Unlimited, and then the rest of the set on Fallout? That's my speculation with it. What is yours?